So John Higgins yet again taking on his great contemporary, and Higgins is playing good stuff. He beat Karen Wilson in the last round 6-3, of course was a semi-finalist recently at the European Masters. What's better than one legend? How about two? Here's Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's won the last 3 Shanghai Masters titles. So the winner plays Judd Trump or Mark Selby. Just a reminder there on table 2. Quarterfinals day at the Shanghai Masters, and we kick off with a meeting of 2 legends of the sport, Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins. Grew up together, of course, turned pro back in 1992. First played each other 29 years ago as professionals. The head-to-head is immense, 37-33 to O'Sullivan. They played in 18 finals. They've won between them 130 professional titles, 70 of them ranking. They've made 27 maximums between them, etc, etc, etc. You could go on all day about their achievements. Let's see who wins today. Ronnie O'Sullivan has not lost in Shanghai since 2016, but he knows the challenges posed by John Higgins, and I'm sure Fergal O'Brien is looking forward to it.
Absolutely, Dave. Yeah, fantastic match between these 2 legends of the game. Great rivals, also great respect between each other, and also great fear. I think a bit of a treat so early in the season, and again, best of 11, slightly more of a test.
Yes, and the other thing to say is they're not 2 big names, you know, meeting each other on the way down. They're still very much at the top. Ronnie O'Sullivan is world number 1. John Higgins just slipped a few places to 9, but as I say, was a semi-finalist in the last event. Has played well so far this week, so all the signs are it's going to be another terrific contest.
Yeah, the fact that Ronnie's won a match and John has won 2 has obviously sharpened them up. So every chance we'll see the pair of them at their very best. Ronnie played that with a lot of right-hand side there. Made the pot more difficult if he didn't play the side. Playing ball and missed it would have went into the reds. Probably hit a little bit harder than he planned. White ball going in and out of bog.
Seemed almost willing that cue ball just to hold up. So he kept running. Yeah, he played Karen Wilson on the other table, table 2.
John Higgins 1.
It's because they played each other. First, really, their big first meeting was before they turned pro at the World Masters, a big event in Birmingham. Lots of different events within it, but they, of course, played in the junior tournament, and O'Sullivan was expected to win it, but Higgins beat him in the quarterfinals, and in the final he beat a young Welsh lad called Mark Williams.
Heard of him as well. Whatever became of him.
Wow. It's amazing, isn't it? They're still all very much at the top of the game. O'Sullivan was tested by Ali Carter. He came back well, Carter, but O'Sullivan made a century. He just seemed to find his game towards the end of that match.
Ronnie just checking there in his chair. as he's queuing. His logo sometimes can be in the way. Sometimes feel like you're queuing across with the logo.
One.
Don't think that logo lasts too long. I think he's trying to pull it up, but usually when you play in the main table, those logos actually stitched on for that very reason, that they won't come off easily. I think what he was doing, I think he became conscious that actually he was in John's eye line, and even John backed off actually for a second.
Well, he might have a bit of time to sort that out because Higgins is in here.
7.
John Higgins has already made 10 centuries this season. And there's not been that much snooker played. Well, the logo has come off. Whether O'Sullivan becomes unstuck today is, of course, in huge degree down to his opponent here, John Higgins, who didn't have a good season last season. And a lot of people felt it was a reaction to the previous season where he'd lost in 5 finals, but he actually said the match that really disappointed him was against O'Sullivan at the Crucible in the semis in 2022. It was 17-11 to O'Sullivan, but Higgins said he just, at no point in the match did he feel he was playing well. And of course that was the last match of the season. He had all summer to sort of dwell on it and just didn't seem quite right last season.
Certainly looks very
14.
focused, very determined, very hungry this season. Now it's early stages, but again, somebody of John's class won't be happy going too long without winning tournaments.
John Higgins 14.
Try to make a plant there, but disappointed.
One. Eight. Nine.
Must be quite damp there today. Maybe before every shot, as you can see there, Ronnie. Cue obviously sticking in his hands, probably while he's delivering the cue. Never a nice feeling. Yeah, particularly at the start of the match. It's unlikely that's going to get any better. Great shot there. Not sure why he didn't play the black. Pink was definitely a more difficult pot.
50.
And from the black, he still could have played position.
60.
Characteristic there from Ronnie.
23.
Yeah, still seems to be struggling a bit with the cue.
On your side of 23.
Yeah, just trying to sort of get used to conditions, but also, you know, it's always a big meeting when they play each other, and I think the deeper they go into their careers, even more so. Whoever wins, of course, has got another tough match against Selby or Trump, but it's always a good win over either one of them, whoever prevails.
One.
John Higgins won the Shanghai Masters as a ranking event in 2012, beat Judd Trump from 7-2 down. Made a maximum in the final.
Six. Seven. $11.
Nice shot there by John, well judged. Again, look at the pot of red. Nudge the other one out of the way and still be on the black or pink.
$12.
Got the red out of the way, but unfortunately pushed it onto the cushion. Got a good look there. It's very noticeable with John that, as opposed to certainly earlier in his career, his tip is a lot further away from the white ball out of dress than it used to be. I think a couple of years ago he tried to address that. Still hasn't stopped him playing unbelievably well at times. But I just wonder, maybe over the years, changing cues and different length of cues, is that just a new habit that started?
$27.
Potting this red now will free up the path for the other two.
$28.
Yeah, just checking the scores. So two
75.
reds colours should be sufficient. Well, he's going to need 3 in reality here, because he went for that plant earlier. I mean, it needed making, didn't it? And he didn't get too close to it, but Sullivan lost his way. Well, that's not in. It was never going in.
John Higgins. 36.
Yeah, the disappointed there was a great chance. Of course, it looks like the pink landed where it is. Probably made it unmissable for that red on the side cushion.
1.
Maybe the pink just blocked its path. Even though it's best of 11, the way this first round has gone, important to win it. Whoever loses will be disappointed with the chances they've had.
7.
Not a surprising miss.
Ronnie starting with 7.
It's a little bit edgy early on. Both players recognising the importance of the occasion, who they're playing. O'Sullivan just struggling a little bit, I think, with conditions as well.
1.
Higgins still needs this last red.
Won't be too disappointed. It's taken the decision of whether or not to go with the tricky red away. Again, looking just to get the red away and ideally get a snooker. Just got to be careful he doesn't double kiss the red.
John Higgins 7.
Well, if he leaves this on, it's surely Higgins' frame. It's all he needs, the red.
Yeah, good escape. The easiest approach for John. Actually wasn't tempted. If he'd played the pot and missed it, turns out he went so close to the pot, it would have stayed in the jaws of the pocket. And not for the first time. John chose the correct percentage shot. Those situations where even though John's 28 ahead, feel whoever puts the last red will go on and win the frame anyway. Great shot there from Ronnie.
Well, they can finish anyway, can't they? Look for a minute as if Higgins had been a little unlucky there, but the opposite's true, really.
He's not that good, John. Be interesting to see, fascinating really over the course of the match. The safety play by both players. Such great snooker brains.
Well, it's interesting. They both grew up as massive Steve Davis fans. You know, they actually, both of them, he was their favourite player. I mean, he always played the correct way. They weren't just attracted by the fact he was a winner. It was how he went about things.
Yeah, certainly John, throughout his career, has always played a percentage. Ronnie's had spells where he's been a little bit erratic. But at his very best, even while you describe him obviously as an attacking, positive player, even at his very best, he still just played the percentages. doesn't tend to go for as many long putts as he used to, Ronnie. These kind of situations, like watching two chess masters trying to maneuver each other away.
Well, not one of his best.
Yeah, quite careless there.
Higgins, remember, just needs the red to get to the snooker's required position. There's been a few chances on either side. It's been a bit edgy so far, but both players trying to settle down. Can Higgins put the red away?
What?
Well, as I said at the start, O'Sullivan is in front on the head-to-head, but to have beaten him 33 times, no one else can boast that. So John Higgins, even though he's trailing by 4 wins, he got the best record of anyone, really, against O'Sullivan. He doesn't fear playing him. He knows he's got to play well to beat him.
4.
Yeah, actually, reading Ronnie's latest book, he mentions that, apart from being full of praise for John, he also is well aware of the fact that John's very comfortable playing.
6.
So much that actually John expects nearly to beat Ronnie. That adds its own pressure.
9.
He was one of his victims, wasn't he, in that Players' Championship in 2021, where Higgins, in the whole tournament, lost 4 frames. It was one of the most extraordinary displays of snooker for the whole week that you've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't think that's been
13.
topped. Or whoever plays better than that over a sustained period is remarkable.
Well, this is a quieter start, but he'll be happy to be on the scoreboard, of course. O'Sullivan did have the chance. He missed that red with a long rest to this right corner.
John Higgins 24 in the frame.
And John Higgins finally has won the battle on the last red. So the Scotsman takes the first frame. It's best of 11. The winner plays Judd Trump or Mark Selby in the semi-finals of the Shanghai Masters. Higgins 1-0. John Higgins has won the opening frame. It was turned into a bit of a disjointed affair, but he won it on the last red here against Ronnie O'Sullivan at the grand stage. And the semi-finals, which are played over 2 days, they are 2-session matches. So the winners of these 2 matches today in this session will play each other over 19 frames tomorrow.
Yeah, the potential semi-final. Mark Selby and Ronnie is a rivalry. Less so, but John Higgins and Judd Trump is a rivalry for some of the great matches they've had. It's surprising for all the terms they've won at the business end so often that Mark Selby and Judd haven't played more often.
Yeah, it is very surprising because there's been so many titles between them in the last sort of decade.
It's one of those, if you have a ticket for the semi-final, it doesn't really matter who wins today, you're guaranteed a great match. And again, the fact even over the longer distance.
Yes, I mean, there's a real prestige about this event, and you know, some of the tournaments, because there are so many players in them, you almost feel like you're racing to get them played. You've got so many matches to get through. Obviously, this being an invitation event, you know, you can take your time a bit more, and I'm sure snooker fans will look forward to the best of 19s as Higgins lines this one up. Couldn't really have gone worse where the red finished.
Ends up hitting it full in the face, dead straight when there was a slight angle on it.
1.
Ronnie will look as soon as he can get on the black.
7.
Brilliant at identifying the key red or shot in each frame, and then as best he can, as soon as he can, getting rid of that problem.
13. $18. $19.
Having to work hard here, keep going up for the blue. Try and leave himself an angle on the black here without potting it. Disturb those 2 reds beside it.
$25.
So it's a slight angle. Left himself a thin clip on the red here.
$33.
Just roll the brown in, leave himself last open red from mid-range.
Ronnie starting with 33.
Yeah, certainly not happy with, well, firstly missing the brown, but also a bit frustrated with it was quite damp and sticky. And I was playing, not a nice feeling. You can lose your focus easily.
1.
Yeah, and I think we've seen with O'Sullivan, haven't we, over the years, if he sort of gets something into his mind, it's sort of quite hard to shift it. He had problems last season with his cue, and you know he's struggling there. He's wiping that cue down with the towel.
Yeah, getting the cue clean and smooth nearly becomes more of a priority than the match. And again, he doesn't want to be in a situation where he has that issue sorted, but all of a sudden now he's 3-0 down.
Well, Higgins has got a pretty good split meantime. Got a red to middle here.
$9.
Struck that very well. Again, didn't hedge his bets and try and go up for the blue. Played it the right way for the pink. Of course, if Ronnie's a little bit distracted, there'll be nobody more aware of that than John. He'll be looking to try and take advantage.
15.
Any sign of weakness at all pounced upon.
16. $21. Yeah.
John just gone across just to see this red here that he's going to play off. Just check to see, did it go? Disappointed, John, that he only made 14 there. I'm even more disappointed about that safety shot there. Left the white ball short. He just got the red too thick, so that took the pace out of the white. But also, by catching the red that bit thicker, pushed one over close. Very rare for John Higgins to make a mistake and then compound it with another one. Let's move on to the tip now. He's not happy at all, not settled.
A little bit of sandpaper now. Well, crowd enjoying it anyway. It's been a sort of a match that hasn't quite come to life yet. And Sullivan not settled at all, really, as he lines this one up. This might change things. If he can knock it in.
One.
Beautiful little glance there, got on the blue.
Six. Seven.
Didn't hit that shot well at all there.
14. 15.
He's still getting a sense it's distracted. His concentration. What is the cue, or now also then the tip? Just important here that he gets enough points, wins the frame, and then 1-1. You know, they clean the cue again or get the sandpaper and touch of the tip.
$21.
Well, John Higgins, unusually for him, played a poor safety to leave that red on. And
28.
Sullivan is just a couple of balls, despite the sort of issues he's had from winning the frame.
29. $36. 37. $44.
Well, he's surely done
44.
enough. John Higgins
In
puts his
frame.
cue down. So, as I say, it's not been the most fluent start by either player, but Ronnie O'Sullivan has won the second frame of this quarter-final. And we're all square at 1 each. Ronnie O'Sullivan on the scoreboard then. He's won his last 15 matches that he's played in Shanghai. That's a run that began in 2017 in the ranking event. He won that. He won the 2 invitation titles as well. And of course won his first match here against Ali Carter a couple of days ago.
So touching up that tip.
I fear for his average shot time today, Fergal. He might lose a few seconds maybe, or put on a few seconds, I should say.
Could be as high as 21, 22. Again, great shot there. Basic enough safety shot, but got it close to the cushion and also behind the green. John trying to return the compliment. John, when playing safety, tends to be more conventional plays. Most shots probably playing ball, whereas Ronnie said every single safety shot he plays with a trace of side. Makes it more difficult to execute. Generally, the benefits can be greater. Always looking to get the most out of every shot. It's a great plan, but you need a hell of a lot of skill to be able to carry out that plan.
Yeah, John Higgins, he always sees what the best shot is. Of course, you've then got to play it, and sometimes it goes wrong, as it did in the last frame. He played a poor safety. Meanwhile, O'Sullivan knocks that red towards the pocket. But he sees the whole table, as I say. You know, Steve Davis was his hero, and you can certainly see that in the way he goes about things. Chance here.
One.
Sometimes when the red is that close to the pocket, it can be difficult to control the white. Couldn't have asked for much more than that.
Zheng Weili is the referee, just measuring that pink spot. He's going to go behind the pack.
It doesn't really make too much of a difference. John probably look at 2 or 3 of those open reds and go into the pack anyway. Ideally, if you can pot the black and probably even cannon the pink. Definitely on the other 2 reds. Depends on the angle he has.
Seven. Eight.
Yeah, either the pink or even the red to the left of the pink Probably won't play it with too much power.
$15. 16.
Maybe this time. Seemed like he had a couple of good opportunities there, and you feel in a couple of shots' time he's going to have to play that shot or something very similar.
$24.
And he was over 900 centuries, so kind of knows what he's doing.
$31. $32.
Running out of reds. One just to the right of the pack. Might be able to get on it here. The brown. Looks to be fairly straight on it. So again, looks like just
36.
roll it through to be parallel to the black. From there, go into the pack.
$37.
Yeah, he's in a position he was about 6-7 shots ago. This time, he's relying on getting a good pack split. He doesn't have the insurance of the couple of reds he had before. There's a bit of power. He'll be happy enough with that.
44.
Just that last bit of delayed backspin worked in his favour.
$45.
Well, this is the best contribution by either player yet, but of course Higgins has got to put the frame away now. Yeah, as I say, 10 centuries already this season, so, you know, in early season, obviously had the summer off, didn't play much. He's come to the party pretty quickly.
$53.
Yeah, the fact of 53 ahead there. Normally, from that position, he probably would have tried to
58.
disturb the cluster of 5, but of course, 58 ahead. There is the pack being tight is his insurance. He was able to swing it away from the pack. Again, these two open reds, two colours, and that'll be the frame. Chances are, if he had went into that cluster 5, more than likely he would have been on a red or a choice of reds. But why take the gamble?
66.
So 2 more pots required to not only win the frame but win it handsomely. Sullivan sent a red towards this right corner to set up the initial chance.
Six for 7.
Breaks can be made in different ways. We see players, I mean, Judd Trump, obviously on the other table, loves to get the balls open early. John Higgins sort of picked them off, but he's done it his way. The most important thing is he's done it, and it looks like it's 2-1 to him.
Yeah, he's taken them very well. He's had to work a little bit harder maybe than he would have liked, but very good.
73.
Yeah, and it's one of the best things about snooker. I think that the different players have different approaches to the way they play. And, of course, fans watching have their own preferences about what they enjoy. Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, well past the 1,000 mark in terms of centuries, over 1,200. There's a little 3-way race to be the second. Higgins is leading that on 9.51, ahead of Trump and Robertson.
82.
And could add another one to his tally here.
Yeah, you definitely feel, John, with the lead he has regarding centuries, that he's going to be the next player to reach the 1,000 milestone.
89. $90.
He's also, of course, made the highest break in the tournament so far, 1-4-1. His first round match. That blue just drops. Yeah, we had 19 centuries coming into today's play. That's in just 3 days.
Yeah, that's a testament to the calibre of players we have here in this
96.
tournament.
So, this black then for his 11th century of the season already. So, a couple of scrappy frames, but there was nothing scrappy about this contribution from Higgins. Misses the red, but 103 will do very nicely for the Wishaw man. Hoping now, of course, to get a lead into the interval. It's 2-1 to John Higgins here in Shanghai. So John Higgins has made 103 in the third frame. There have been many different ways of playing the game over the years, and yesterday we lost a very distinct player, Perry Mans, at the age of 82 from South Africa. He won the Masters in 1979. He'd been runner-up at the Crucible in the World Championship to Ray Reardon in 1978, and he was known as an out-and-out potter, not necessarily a break builder. It was a different era, but a tremendous potter, and as I say, played the game his way, and it worked for him. So, of course, we send our condolences to his family. Another player who's played a part in this great sports history.
John found a good line off that safety. Again, hit a little bit harder than he planned, but always that possibility of he hit it a little bit harder, maybe getting the snooker.
Foul enemies. John Higgins 6.
I think Zheng Weili knew that was coming, and he's pressed into action.
I think John was maybe thinking that it's a fairly easy escape fully expects Ronnie will get out of it. The next time is probably looking to see could he play a different shot and give Ronnie a different, tougher problem to try and solve. I said he fully expect Ronnie to make a slight adjustment with the spread of the side cushion and just nestle into the reds.
John.
Players have been treated very well here. I saw footage yesterday of Neil Robertson being absolutely mobbed after his victory over Ding. Obviously, a lot of people were hoping Ding would win in these parts, but showed him full respect. And you can just imagine that's sort of 10 times for O'Sullivan, the attention he'll be getting here. So, you know, after sort of a couple of years where obviously we had lockdown snooker and largely British-based, the players being reminded coming to China of how well they're regarded internationally by the global snooker audience. Saw it in Germany as well recently.
Yeah, maybe before COVID, because there were so many tournaments in China. At that time there was a little bit, one or two players maybe complaining about the amount of travelling they were doing. But again, they realise now, after COVID, how lucky they were, and only too delighted to make those long journeys. Sometimes it's 2 flights and a train journey as well, but it's great to be back playing in China.
Well, I remember the first time I was ever in Shanghai, I went through passport control with John Higgins, and he just won the tournament at that particular event, and he was asked to wait by the guy behind the desk. And I thought, oh no, there's some problem, and he'd gone to get a bit of paper for his autograph because he'd watched him win the final. So that was a sign that, you know, people were watching. Didn't ask me for mine, oddly enough, but
he had it already, Dave, I'm sure. Yeah, I think particularly the Shanghai Masters as well. When you tell people back home that usually the day before the tournament is literally the red carpet treatment, like it was a movie premiere. They literally can't believe it. And I said maybe before COVID, certain things we probably took for granted as, you know, as players. But I mean, that's certainly no longer the case.
yeah, I've always thought snooker should sort of embrace that a bit more. You know, like I said yesterday, the Masters, you don't get any of that. The Masters in London, which is a huge event, you know, you just sort of turn up, you play. It's a great atmosphere, yes, but in terms of sort of what's done beforehand, there's not really anything.
Yeah, exactly. Certainly see it in other sports. Even I suppose the likes of the Masters, following up from the US Masters golf, even the like of the night before you know, had a champions dinner or just something extra. You're not going to do it necessarily for every tour, but particularly the likes of the Masters.
Well, they've got the hospitality suite, haven't they? Anyway, O'Sullivan with a chance here. In it goes. Just lost the cue ball. I wonder what the meals the players would choose. I dread to think.
Burger and chips would be fairly high up, I'd say.
Sullivan having to play the safety game right now. And of course he can play it really well when his mind is tuned to it, which he hasn't always been, but against Higgins, you know he's going to show John Higgins every respect.
Sometimes you get a sense that Ronnie actually has more respect for John and his game than the other way around, which is obviously very unusual. It's usually people in fear of Ronnie are talking Ronnie up before the game.
Well, I think objectively, Sullivan would sort of look at the other players and think there aren't that many who can do things I can't do. But Higgins has that sort of that percentage game, that tactical game that he maybe feels he hasn't always had himself.
It's funny that probably part of the reason why he worked with Ray Reardon. He definitely added that extra tactical percentage into his game. Okay, problem here for John. Can't play any of the reds on the left-hand side and get back down the table. Okay, can't really roll into the pack of reds. He'd leave a red into the middle. Possibly the red to the right of the pink. Maybe trying to look to get safe off that. Right at the pink spot. Maybe even run through. Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. Trying to push that red through the gap. Caught it wrong and the reds clipped the other reds.
One.
So can O'Sullivan put together a substantial contribution as Higgins did in the last frame? Made a century, his first of the season against Ali Carter. As Carter was coming back at him. Well, there's the answer. Unexpected miss.
It just hasn't settled at all today. For various different reasons. Probably trying to play that a lot of right hand side to try and pot it, avoid the pack. It was very close to the ball cushion. It's hard to get the side onto the white. That's end up catching it so thick. He hasn't left John it easy. He's been quite lucky. Again, John will be well aware that chances are Ronnie won't be this distracted throughout the match. He's desperate to try and capitalise, get get a lead.
But I think, Fergal, you'd agree, he's top of the list for Dublin, isn't he, John Higgins?
Unbelievable. I can't ever remember missing one. Of course, his most famous was that the one he dropped in dead weight and then made that brilliant clearance to win the Masters 10-9. Hasn't been a statistic on double pot percentage yet, but it's coming.
7.
It's also amazing, as good as he is, how bad Stephen Hendry was at doubles.
Eight.
So they practice a lot together. I think at some point that would have rubbed off a bit on Stephen.
Well, it's got him in, and it's a significant frame, this, because O'Sullivan was looking to get involved with a break of his own. He broke down very early. We know Higgins is playing good stuff. He's just made a century in the last frame, so if he could put this one to bed, then 3-1 would be a fair reflection of what we've seen so far. O'Sullivan just hasn't really come to the party. He won that scrappy second frame, but
13.
he's looked a bit ill at ease with everything else, with conditions, and with his own game at the moment.
$14.
Just checking John there, I think that when he pots the black and more or less keeps the white there, what shot he'll have on the red that's closest to the left-hand corner pocket. Struck that very well, John. Rest play, not one of his great strengths. I suppose he can't be brilliant in
21.
everything.
$22.
Of course, O'Sullivan won his first ranking title in '93, 30 years ago now. Higgins was a year later, but John Higgins then won 2 more pretty quickly. He was the first player to win 3 as a teenager, 3 ranking titles. And it looked, when he became world champion in '98, he was the first of the class of '92 to win it.
29.
He could potentially replace Stephen Hendry as the dominant force, but of course he had the other 2 to worry about. So the 3 of them all had their spells at the top. They were all world #1, they were all world champions, and they're all still there. And this is the problem players like Trump have, you know, coming along, you think he's going to be the new dominant force, but these legends are not going anywhere. That's the problem.
I suppose similar with the tennis, really. Obviously, Federer's finally now retired. Nadal
37.
can't be too far away, and only Djokovic left. Yes, exactly. So it's not just one of them to contend with; it's the 3 of them.
Yeah, I mean, the way Trump played to beat Higgins in that final at the Crucible in 2019, as Higgins misses that out of nowhere. I was going to say, you know, you think
Higgins.
Judd Trump will go on winning it. In fact, O'Sullivan's won it twice since then, but that was a miss that came absolutely out of nowhere from Higgins. And it's given a lifeline to O'Sullivan in this pre-interval frame. You can see Higgins sitting down, really frustrated.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. No rhyme or reason why he should miss it.
1.
Good chance, very close to red there. Again, when it was John's chance, obviously John was going to be keen and determined to try and make it 3-1 and capitalise. But with that careless miss, roles reversed. If he was to somehow win this frame, Ronnie would be delighted to be only 2-0, considering that John's probably played the better stuff and he's been a little bit distracted, a little bit out of sorts.
Definitely, and that's why, one shot can turn everything.
14.
And it'll be, I'm sure the shot Higgins thinks about the interval if it does go 2 each, because he was starting to take control of this match. Sullivan just lifting that red from the cushion.
Obviously, John's got great mental strength, but missing that kind of red would still take a little bit getting over.
Punch. 21.
There's 2 reds below the pink, just causing a little bit of an issue. Play this red quack for blue or ball colour.
$27.
Get straight in the blues to play the green. Now just left with the problem of trying to disturb those 2 reds. Ideally, you'd like to try and do it from either the pink or the black.
31.
So I tried to put it in that area. Well, that's close to the cushion. Maybe can play like a power stun, pot it and disturb them.
$38.
Just need a little bit more power playing that stun shot.
38.
Again, considering when John was right in amongst the balls, I'd be happy enough to be back in contention. John just and look at this red as a shot to nothing.
Well, a very interesting moment, I think, in this match. They both had a chance to win this frame. As we head to the interval, will Higgins get that 2-frame lead? Sullivan 2-2 will be a real result for him. He's not scored yet. He's battled hard, though, again here.
Easy enough escape. Don't want to be looking to put John back in trouble. Try and separate the reds here slightly, so it won't be so easy for John to roll onto either one of them. Again, was determined to get the white ball over on the left-hand side of the table, with the reds being just on the right-hand side. Just to be careful here, he doesn't catch this red too thick. Bring one or both reds out. Because of that, end up missing it altogether.
We're starting 5, free ball.
So free ball. John Higgins was in a great position earlier in this frame. He was going along nicely. Just out of nowhere, missed a red to right corner.
Crumble. One.
Couldn't play that much better there. Try and give himself some shot on these reds. Just have a look there. Where's the ideal point to be on the red? Potting the red. They have the option of clipping out the other red. He's going to need that one as well.
Eight. Nine.
Okay, just clip the red. Therefore, lost ideal position on the black. I'd still be tempted to pot the black and swing around the angles. Again, just got to make sure if he plays that he avoids one of the other colours. Potted as well, it'd help.
Ronnie starting with 9.
Yeah, it's a little concerning, I think, for O'Sullivan fans. Okay, that shot was quite intricate, but in general, he's just been scrapping, hasn't he? It's all been bits and pieces, not what you associate with him. His attitude's been good, I think. But it's not quite happening. Yeah, it's not quite happening. John Higgins, you know, a few minutes ago left the free ball. Okay, the Reds weren't ideal where they were, but it's a definite chance for O'Sullivan to put the frame away. Higgins now with his own chance here, 17 behind.
One.
This would be a great frame to steal after everything that's happened.
He's stolen a few in his time. Yeah, 12 behind. Doesn't need the black.
5. Seven.
Just trying to ensure after potting the brown, just leave himself a nice angle on the blue. A natural angle when potting it to get down to the pink. Looks to be the only obstacle now.
$14.
It's not been so far a sort of vintage meeting between these two, but any meeting between them is fascinating, and there's been plenty of points of interest. This is the most interesting phase of the whole morning so far. Higgins needing blue and pink. If it's going to go wrong now, it's going to be this shot. You did say earlier, you know, with the rest, he's not necessarily top of the list. What a chance that was. He was on the pink as well. So the drama continues.
Yeah, obviously furious there. See, throwing the extension down. That miss, though, just gives this frame extra significance.
Well, Higgins has had 2 really good chances to win it. So O'Sullivan needs blue and pink. That's what Higgins needed. 1 good pot here needed for O'Sullivan. And that's not it. And that was not particularly close, you've got to say.
Yeah, he's not surprising he's having a look at the double. The only thing is, there's no cover in playing it. And those shots probably has to go in. Feel 1 good pot here for Ronnie. Feel to screw back for the pink.
The referee's not waving to family, by the way. He's obviously trying to keep people still in the eye line of the players. Because this is such a vital moment in the match today. Been a hatful of opportunities on both sides, chances to get the frame won already.
I feel it's a more important frame for Ronnie to win. So if it's 2-all, John's still level. Of course, he's going to be frustrated. He knows he should have been 3-1 up. But Ronnie doesn't really want to fall 3-1 behind to John, particularly when he's not quite at his best. Hardly tempted by the pot, is he? Try. Has been fortunate. Yeah. John's face. That's the story. You might look to put the blue on the side cushion, maybe get a snooker behind the black. Fairly standard shot left, safety shot left here for John. Like twice across, leave the blue around about the black spot. The white back up the table. Might even chance of a snooker. Yeah, played it very well. Played it with a tracer right hand side to bring the white over closer to the black. And a great response by Ronnie there. Perfect contact on the blue. Push it over to the side cushion and get the white back down the table. We might well see a series of fantastic safety shots coming up between the pair of them. Speculative shots up there from Ronnie.
Does not want this in. Bit close for comfort.
You see that John's tipped quite away from the white ball at address. Left the putt on for John. Not really sure you're going to play dead weight to hold for the pink. Sometimes hit a bit harder, just try and pot it. Leave yourself some shot on the pink. Again, because it just needs blue and pink. To play it dead weight.
5.
Yeah, couldn't have played it much slower.
Well, you just knew it wouldn't be an easy pot on the pink because it's not been an easy frame.
Yeah, and this pink with the extension and the rest, a lot more difficult than the blue he missed. But again, it is just a shot to nothing. He can play it freely, cue it freely. Knows the white's gone back up the table.
Well, he's had a lot of chances already. They both had chances in this frame. Can John Higgins knock the pink in to lead by 2 at the interval?
John Higgins 5.
Now cued across it there. Actually got a little bit aside and just turned it over. With a try there from Ronnie, play the back double. Not the easiest of safe shots here for John. I'll just try and dump it on the side cushion. Yeah, that was always the danger. Didn't quite have the angle to play the up and down. You always felt the balls were going to spread apart. Just unusually for Ronnie, you just feel if it's a bit difficult, you actually don't really expect him to pot it.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't easy that, but it's quite humbling in a way. You know, these 2 all-time greats of the game struggling a bit today. Shows you how hard snooker actually is.
Yeah, it's great to see. Excellent safety shot there. Does the pace very well. Yeah, top of the table from Ronnie. We appreciated that.
What I've liked as well, there's been no sort of false apologising. They've had a little bit of luck here and there, but it's just they know that's all part of it. They played it long enough to know that's just part of the game.
Great shot there. Very small margin for error there. Could have easily double kissed it. And then trying to avoid the double kiss, he could catch it too thin and leave it on. Just waiting for one of them to blink here. Opportunity here for Ronnie. Not just obviously to pull up with the white up, of course, gone naturally back down the table towards the black. But these kind of shots he has been missing today. Well,
Higgins just needs the pink. He's had a go at it already, of course, with the extended rest. He's had a lot of chances already. Had the blue earlier. He was in early in the frame. Can he finally put it away for a 3-1 lead? No, he cannot. But it's going to be the snooker.
Yeah, played a percentage shot. Difficult to hit and not leave it on. Fascinating exchange between the pair of them. Two great snooker brains going toe to toe. Might be able to put the pink on the side cushion, play it slowly. Might even get some cover behind the black. Okay, priority is to get the pink safe. Bit risky there.
And the crowd living every moment of this extraordinary exchange between these two legends.
Foul, enemies.
Well, what that changes, of course, is now O'Sullivan only needs the pink. Higgins back to needing pink and black. He's had so many times in the frame where he looked like he was going to win it, but it's very much in the balance again.
Yeah, there's a difficult escape here. Of course, not just to hit it. Chances are it just looks one of those kind of shots that even if you did hit it, you're more likely to leave it on than not. Of course, from distance, playing a swerve, very hard to judge exactly the pace and the exact contact on the pink. Just relieved to get any contact and try not leave a pot on. Seems to get more swerve on it this time. Again, another chance for Ronnie.
Needs one good pot. He's had a few goes as well at putting the frame away. Can he knock this in? Be delighted with 2-2. And in it goes. What a battle that was between these two all-time greats. John Higgins had a lot of chances himself to win that frame and take a 3-1 advantage, but O'Sullivan, who's not been at his best, has got to the interval on level terms. 2-2, first to 6 to reach the semi-finals. John Higgins had sundry chances, you've got to say, to win that fourth frame. I think objectively he played the better snooker of the two pre-interval, but the fact is it's 2 each. O'Sullivan will be delighted, and now he'll be looking to improve. I think he will feel he'll have to win, but let's see if he can find something. Higgins has had a century. It's been very interesting, even if it's not been the highest quality match they've ever played so far. That can change.
Yeah, we've had better matches during this tournament already. There's definitely been better matches between these pairs as well, but that's not to say we won't improve a lot. Certainly I'd say Ronnie would be delighted to be 2-all. If he was a younger, more experienced player, you might think he'd maybe slightly missed the boat by not being 3-1 up. Of course, John, with his experience and mentality, Still be at all no surprise if he won, and still won well.
Sullivan, though, kept his focus, didn't he? You know, he didn't sort of throw his cue at anything. He was struggling a little, but his focus was good, and that was, to a large degree, why he won that frame in the end. Potted a good pink.
Ronnie there, rather than play off the pack thick, played it with a tracer left-hand side. Just caught the reds a little bit thinner, try and keep the pack together and let the side do the work. Figure of 8 safety shot there, John. Was trying to get it behind the yellow. Ronnie might try and play something similar. Bring it over to the other side. And both players looking to gain advantage, looking to play a tell-in safety shot, trying to force a mistake from their opponent. Again, Ronnie deliberately playing out to trace the side to try and bring the white ball over to the other side of the table.
Well, he dodged a bullet there, didn't he? Could easily have caught one of those reds. The white just sort of serenely made it through the middle of the melee.
I think the red beside the blue is possible for Ronnie. Again, not easy, and certainly the kind of shot he has been missing today. You won't always miss them.
Six.
This red can pass the other red.
Seven.
Having much of the pocket to play with there. Hit it very well though. Just check, standing there, Ronnie, just waiting to
14.
see will the black go into the left-hand corner pocket.
$15.
Just about went far enough there. Looked like it came quite fast off the second cushion, more than he expected. We're looking here to get a better angle on the back, so we'll be able to pot the black and go into the pack. And then he'll have a choice of reds into either corner
22.
pocket.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 22.
It's kind of been the story, hasn't it, for O'Sullivan today? He's been getting into these positions and then just the odd miss has crept in. As I say, O'Sullivan sort of scrambled that pre-interval frame, but in general, he would surely feel his standard has to increase to win. Higgins, meantime, has had 15 minutes just to collect his thoughts. He has made a century, of course.
Eight. Nine. $16. $17.
Yeah, nice shot there. Played it with strong left-hand side. Try and come back parallel with this black here. Pot it, screw into them and be on the red and the right. Got into it a little bit more than we would have liked. Wanted more of a stun.
24.
Hit the white ball a little bit lower. That's we got a bit more reaction off the white. More difficult red into the middle than he would have liked, but again, he just has to pot it, just roll it in. It's not to try and even hold for the blue. If you want, you can just play for ball colour. Different red, but same result. Probably didn't play the red into the middle. Just a little bit betwixt and between whether to play for the blue or for the green. The other one was a bit simpler in his mind.
$28. $29.
Very patient break builder, John. More than happy to pick off a few blues, ball colours, and just work his way into position. Get 30, 40 on the board. Doesn't gamble too much, doesn't jeopardise. Try and get the balls open, perfect, in one shot. Just happy to keep potting, keep at the table, build the break up.
Yeah, because he's very good, isn't he? If he goes 50 odd in front and he does break down, then just closing the shop. I mean, the shutter's just come down, actually.
35.
So it's a bit of an old school way of playing, but of course, if he doesn't miss, then he'll be making the centuries and winning the frames in one visit.
Yeah, he beat you either way. Yeah, they beat you with one visit or. Makes 50, plays a good safety, gets back in, makes another 50.
40.
In boxing terms, he knocks you out and wins on points, and you haven't laid a glove on him.
And of course, the other thing he's very good at his best is coming back from a deficit in a frame. As O'Sullivan knows well, you mentioned the Masters 2006, the decider.
$41.
He's been doing it for so long, nearly take it for granted, but just phenomenal bottle.
These two saw off a couple of venues, didn't they? That was the last ever frame played at the Wembley Conference Centre, the great venue for the Masters, and of course the last frame ever played at the Preston Guildhall was Ronnie O'Sullivan's 1000th century, although we do believe that's reopening.
$48.
A lot of the players working with coaches, looking to improve their games. But one thing you can't teach is bottle.
$49.
Doing what needs to be done under the utmost pressure. Also, in John's case, it actually never looks like he is under pressure doing it.
$56.
Well, O'Sullivan had an early chance in the frame. He missed that just slight cutback red to this right corner. Higgins 34 to the good. A couple more reds with colours for a 3-2 lead, and chance to get going again after the disappointment of losing the fourth frame.
57.
Really focused hard on this break. You've seen the concentration written on his face.
Yeah, just low on the black again. Just nudge into the red and pink if needed. $35 ahead, red,
64.
black, 43 left. So again, just one more red after this next black.
$65.
Yeah, typical John Higgins. Patient, disciplined, professional.
72.
Yeah, just needed to play a couple of recovery shots earlier on and did so. The game seems in a very good place. As I say, last season was disappointing. He started to come good towards the end of it. The Crucible, he played that terrific match at the World Championship against Karen Wilson, just blew him away. But of course, then the season was over. But in early season, he got within a frame of the European Masters final. Went to Leicester, qualified for the Wuhan Open, so we'll be there next month. And of course, here he's already won 2 matches.
81.
And now's a chance in this match to make his second century. He's already made 4 in the tournament overall, including the highest, 141.
88.
But the key thing is it's come from that O'Sullivan miss when he was in.
90.
Yeah, the back end of last season. Got business in most tournaments. Again, Germany just recently lost 6-5 in the semi-final. If John Higgins keeps getting the business end of events, eventually he'll win not just one, but many.
97.
So, after the scramble of frame 4, a century, if this blue goes in frame 5, second of the match for Higgins. No adverse reaction at all to losing that previous frame. I guess he's too long in the tooth for that, really. This has been excellent. And as I say, the key thing is it came from the O'Sullivan miss. 115 with the black. John Higgins, with his 5th century of the Shanghai Masters, goes back in front at 3-2. He needs 3 more frames to reach the semi-finals. It's 3-2 to the man at the table, John Higgins, here in Shanghai. Best of 11 frame quarter-final with Ronnie O'Sullivan. And he's made his 2nd century of the match. Other times it's been a bit of a struggle, but it wasn't a struggle there. The chance came, he took it really well. And it came from O'Sullivan missing a red to this right corner. It was a much easier one than that. He'd love a kiss here.
1.
Well, not quite the right one. Could have been away there had he gotten a bulk colour.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Just casually bridging over left-handed. Plays a perfect safety shot.
It's amazing to think, isn't it, the fuss that was caused when he first started playing left-handed, the sort of the apparent controversy in it, because it was just a sort of new thing then, but the fact is he's really good at it.
And a result of that, saying the other day, I wouldn't say there's a player, young player, 15, 16, who looked to be a prospect that probably can't make a 50 break with their left hand. It just becomes, it's nearly a sign of weakness if you can't make a big break. Back in the day, it was deemed very disrespectful. Might be a new tournament there. Players have to play with their opposite hand.
I know, I'd favour to win it then. He's playing in this match.
I think left-handed people can't beat him. I think John can clip this red and break the stalemate and get the white back up the table. John surprisingly gave away the initiative quite easily there. And Ronnie managed to play a very good shot. Open the reds up, get the white back down the table. John probably just left it playing a dump shot, just coming down to have a look that if he leads his white down that end of the table, what will he be leaving for Ronnie? No path back, no more traditional safety. Yeah, not only has he left the red, but also I don't think the black was able to go beforehand. So now if we can just plot this and just, it's congested there, but just someone just get it out and pass the black. Managed to do that.
One.
A couple of shouts at come on, Ronnie. Fans here of O'Sullivan hoping that something's going to click soon and that he can produce the sort of snooker Higgins has in terms of breaks. Because despite largely being outplayed, there's only one frame in it, so still very much in this match.
Just trying to get a
8.
bigger cannon on that red to get it away from the black spot, because I knew the black would be tied up otherwise.
9.
Again, part of that just glanced at another red. Story of today really has been, anytime it looked like he was going to compile a break and settle down, he's either broke down or it's went awkward. Nothing's been easy for him today, but again, he showed great patience and discipline, which again, in this situation, he hasn't always.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 9.
Lovely, clever little shot.
Yeah, as you say, a lot of discipline in that one. But disappointment for O'Sullivan that the break came to an end after the initial chance. You can see he's covered every red here.
Yeah, I think before he started working with Steve Peters, Ronnie, as great as he was, these kind of matches when he wasn't his best against a very top player, he just didn't win them, or certainly win enough of them. Again, it seems nowadays taking more as a challenge that can he win when he's not at his best.
1.
Well, the good safety he played has set up this second chance in the frame.
Six.
Be desperate at some point to try and free the black. Might have to go up and down to the blue numerous times before an opportunity presents itself.
7.
I suppose possible as well if he puts enough blues, he wouldn't need that red. It just makes life a lot easier. He can get the black out somehow. It was a little bit higher on the blue than he originally planned. As a result of that, forced him into playing the cannon. It's worked out lovely. Just gone a little bit too far as well. Again, playing the blue probably has to play a cannon. There's no absolute guarantee it'll go perfect. And that all came about by the previous two shots not being perfect on the blue.
Ronnie 18.
Again, testament to his temperament today. I'm sure he's very frustrated from that situation to break down. But again, regrouped, tried to play as best as safety as he could. Just trying to get the white in behind the pink. Maybe another day, or playing somebody else other than John Higgins, his reaction might have been different. But again, the respect he has for John, probably doesn't want to be shown any weakness at all.
Yeah, and I think also for this tournament, you know, it can't be a coincidence. He keeps winning in Shanghai. Clearly, it's a tournament he enjoys. It's a city he enjoys. He gets well looked after, well rewarded for coming, and wants to stay here as long as he can. And that's why he's digging in here. And if he wins the match, that will be a large part of it. The fact that he's not given way to any frustration.
John just looking to play this red, disturb the red and the black. Straight away you can see the potential for a re-rack. partly as well because it's so easy to play a safety shot. Just clip any number of reds over towards it. Chances are it's the red that's near the left-hand corner. It's most likely red to potentially break any stalemate. Again, neither player is going to want to be playing these series of shots, and neither player is going to want to re-rack. It sometimes just feels inevitable.
Sullivan's 28 in front, so doesn't really favour him. Stalemate.
Good safety, but it's unlikely to cause too much concern for Ronnie. He'll probably play a similar shot off this red here that's below the black spot. Anxious looked to see was he on the black. Again, might have a great angle on the pink here. Might end up not even potting the pink, maybe potentially play the brown.
John Higgins 1.
Cagey old stuff then. That black obviously over the pocket, the issue really.
Yeah, nice glance. Unintended by John there. It just makes it a little bit tricky for Ronnie here. Just be careful just to catch the red on that side. Again, given with the black over the pocket, the caliber of these two players, very hard to see how either player will be presented with an opportunity. Maybe in playing a safety shot, if the black gets potted, it's probably the most likely. take something careless from me, the player, which is very unlikely to happen. That might help proceedings. Is there a gap there? I think he can hit the red alright, but not enough, I don't think, to pot it. He's wondering if he hits the red on the left hand side. Could have made double kisses off the jaws and the black, somehow make it. Or will he maybe try and play a plant?
You just feel one way or the other, this shot is going to break the impasse.
Hopefully.
But in whose favour?
Four.
Well, O'Sullivan, I guess, a little fortunate, really. He didn't leave the direct red. But nothing easy on. I suppose the in-off, in a way, was a bit of a result for Higgins. Yeah, he's just not as reliable from distance right now. It's been that sort of match. It's been, yes, he's dug in, and you give him credit for that, but it's maybe taken away a bit of the natural rhythm in his game. And now, what a chance for Higgins here. 31 behind, yes, but with a good chance. We know he's scoring well. He's made 2 centuries.
Yeah, Ronnie's application has been excellent. Just the execution today, and usually it's been poor. He'll be very relieved there.
It's not getting any easier, is it? It didn't land on the black. Maybe on the brown.
Combo.
Played that well.
5.
It was made a little bit harder, the fact that he knows he shouldn't have even been playing that in the first place. But when he had to put the black or the brown, or it's the same effect.
Well, Higgins must seriously fancy a chance here today, because, of course, he's played O'Sullivan many times. He's beaten him many times, yes, but he's also been on the receiving end of a few hidings when O'Sullivan has just completely turned it on. That's not happened yet today, so an opportunity here for Higgins for sure.
That can create its own pressure, because chances are the next time you play Ronnie, he will be playing a lot better. As you said, there'll be some days where he didn't have it, even John wouldn't have had a chance of beating him. So today he's got a great chance. Doesn't want to let today's chance slip by.
No, that's why this visit is big, I think, because he's seen O'Sullivan just struggle. That last red he took on, you know, that could have been the start of something for him, but Higgins looking to punish fully. And it's a good chance now where the balls are.
Yeah, if John does go 4-2 up, then from what we've seen, it certainly seems unlikely that Ronnie would then have to win 4-1 Form has been shown, or lack of form today, that doesn't look likely at all. But went 4-2, probably more likely Zheng winning 6-2 rather than Ronnie making a comeback. Again, Ronnie even in his chair looks very composed. Actually staring John every move John makes down.
John
in his own little world.
$28.
So he moves in front in the frame,
75.
and just look where the Reds are. This is a serious chance now for Higgins to get to 4-2. Of course, he looked good for a 3-1 lead. Didn't quite happen before the interval.
36. $43. $44.
Deliberately left himself low on the blue with enough angle to be able to go in and out of buck. Didn't want to gamble on trying to get high on the blue, and he could end up straight. So we're an 18 ahead. It's red. Give an angle on the black. And then just need the yellow thereafter. Just wants to stun us, more or less leave the white exactly where the red is. Be high on the black with enough angle.
$50.
Natural standard shot now. Pop the black, come off the two cushions. And as it comes off the second cushion, naturally travelling towards the yellow.
So this frame took a bit of time to get going. The black over the pocket. It looked like Higgins, when they tried to pop the red, had left the chance, but the in-off in some ways helped because he didn't leave an easy red for O'Sullivan. He left one from distance, and O'Sullivan's not really been knocking them in today. He left this chance, which Higgins has taken. The Snooker needed already. But surely it's his frame now, so for the first time he's going to be two in front. Concern clearly for O'Sullivan. He's not lost, remember, in Shanghai since Michael Holt beat him in 2016. But he's going to have to find something today. He's going to have to find a moment of inspiration, maybe more than one, to come back here.
71.
Break ends at 71.
John Higgins is 71.
And it's got John Higgins to within 2 of a place in the semi-finals. He's certainly doing the scoring in this match, and he leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 4-2.
From 7. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
So it's 4-2 to Higgins. He's ahead by 2 for the first time.
Ronnie, as usual, breaking off left-handed. Feels he can get more side and therefore swing the white ball around the angles better by playing it left-hand side. He's done a few times today, Ronnie. Not hitting the pack thick, playing it thin. We're using the, in this case, right-hand side, running side, to get the white ball back up the table. Just very fearful of catching the reds too thick, pushing the red towards either corner pocket. Ronnie always looking to maximise every shot he plays, particularly the safety. Whereas John played a plain ball and relied on the contact on the red to try and bring the white ball over behind brown and yellow. A little tap of the table there from John. Ronnie swinging the white ball around.
Well, John Higgins had 2 centuries and a 71. Ronnie O'Sullivan's highest break is just 44. That's got to improve, hasn't it? Don't feel he's going to scrap his way through this match.
Excellent shot there, bridging over, catch it so fine.
Yeah, Higgins sort of nodding his approval there.
He has had chances, Ronnie, all right. His safety has been quite good, but as we've been saying, just hasn't scored anywhere near heavy enough to beat John, or nowhere near as heavy scoring as he normally has. But again, just keep saying his patience and discipline and application have been excellent. If he keeps that attitude, it can turn around. John come around to see does the black go into the left corner. If not, he'll probably have to pot the red, try and stun off the cushion for the pink. Just off strike at a slight angle, but actually just hit it full in the face. Disappointed.
1.
This is the sort of position where you normally fancy something to happen. Where's this pink going though?
7.
Just have a look there when he puts this red to the left corner. Try and leave himself an angle on the black. And then from there,
8.
cannon the red above it. Be on the other one into the other corner.
$15.
It helps, of course.
16.
Black out of the way.
$22. 23. $29. 30.
I put the pink here and play cannon on the red above to the left.
$36.
Typical Ronnie fashion. Space of a
37.
couple of shots, a couple of minutes. He has the balls. Lovely. Great chance. Just needs to mind his work. Nothing careless.
44.
Well,
45.
that's gone wrong. He said that, so he has increased his high break, but only to 45. Not enough.
I think he got a kick on that. Sounded a little bit heavy. There's another kick there, definitely.
45.
Well, that's
I'm surprised John didn't get the white ball clean there. It's definitely 2 kicks in a row.
it's just another thing that's gone wrong unexpectedly today for him.
Yeah, he's battled hard. He's created the chances. That was a classic example there. 9 out of 10 times Ronnie win the frame in that position. Just today, this hasn't happened. But again, no emotion, no petulance out of him. Just accept it as best as he could. And just continue on. And again, if he ends up winning the frame in 2 visits rather than 1, there's no harm in that.
Thing is, I mean, his discipline's been excellent, but he's won a lot of matches where it hasn't been. I mean, so in some of the home nations early on, you know, he'll just sort of go for everything. It's almost like he's saying to some of the lower ranked players, well, let's see if you can actually take the chances. And normally they don't. He's never lost a first round match in home nations. Here, it's the opposite. He's playing someone he really respects, and he's doing everything right, but at the moment, he's not getting the result.
Yeah, but long term, this is effectively the way to play. And generally those tournaments, the home nations, if in the first round he's played 13, 14 seconds, I don't think he's ever went on and won the tournament. That's actually a bad sign. Not necessarily, okay, you could argue is it disrespectful to his opponent. That's not the main issue. The main issue is Ronnie O'Sullivan, as good as he is, at his best, he doesn't play at 13 or 14 seconds. Again, if you start off the tournament in the wrong mindset, the wrong attitude, it's nearly impossible to then turn it around. Today will be the kind of day if he could win, stand in a really good stead.
Well, if he does turn it around, he's going to play Mark Selby, because Selby's beaten Judd Trump 6-1.
Whether he likes it or not.
And he's finished with an 83 break, so he's had a string of breaks there, Selby. Very fluent performance from him. Higgins knocks the blue in. Yeah, so Sullivan has struggled for fluency. Mark Selby, who's sometimes categorised as a bit of a scrapper, has actually produced 5 big frame-winning breaks.
Yeah, such as the standard of saying at this tournament to the players to beat Judd Trump, and maybe John Higgins is to get the final, or the reverse, to have to beat John Higgins and Mark Selby just to get to the final. Very difficult. And of course the semi-finals over 2 sessions.
Seven.
As we said earlier, if there was a player you wanted in this situation, 40 odd behind, to make a clearance at a vital stage, John's a phenomenal record at it.
Yeah, you got to say it's a good chance, and could be
12.
the sort of crunch moment now in this match. Just when things were looking up for Ronnie O'Sullivan, it went wrong unexpectedly.
Thirteen. $18. $19.
Something's going to have to go wrong pretty dramatically for Higgins here. It's not about the scoreline, it's about where the balls are, and everything's on.
Yeah, you can't really even make a case for the red on the right-hand side being awkward. Big margin of
24.
error there, plenty of room around it.
$25.
So pot this black now, the black will actually go on the pink spot. Probably works to his advantage for that last red on the right hand side. Be a nice angle to be able to put the black and just fall in behind the red into either middle pocket.
$33.
Would have liked the white to travel a little bit more over towards the left hand side. Okay, so likely he'll miss the pink. Just he's gone away from where the last red will be. Just to be careful he doesn't overscrew, block himself with the pink. Just leave it low.
$39.
Okay, just to be a little bit careful here. Going in and out of bog. Doesn't hit one of the colours. Then needs to get on a colour with an angle, then to be able to get onto the last red.
$40.
I think he would have loved an angle. I think it might be straight. If he's straight, all he can do is screw back. Well, that tells you there he does have a slight angle. depending on the angle, stun over to that red. Be able to play it into the right hand middle. But it looks to be very straight. It's just be careful. He definitely pots it. There's a tendency he can push this to the left hand jaw. And use that side of the pocket to force an angle over. From there, probably play this as well as he can.
47.
Well, you sort of feel this could be last chance saloon in this frame for O'Sullivan.
Tricky little red. Ideally would like to play it pocket weight, but of course if he does that, the white will be on the side cushion.
$48.
Probably play it that way, hoping he's left himself a natural angle on the pink to pot it. Possible here in potting it, he might hit the yellow. Played it well, managed to avoid the cannon on the yellow.
54.
And you get to feel one good pot here, stood around off 2 cushions and have the green back in the same pocket.
$56.
Well, we've literally lost count of the amount of times John Higgins has done this, stepped in behind in a frame and made a great clearance. This hasn't been absolutely straightforward, but 11 in front. He will need the blue.
I think if he stuns the white and leaves the white on the green spot, he naturally has the angle.
59.
Decided to go the other way, but this looks harder. Less guaranteed position. Just to power it and get back down for the blue.
63.
Played it very well. At the moment O'Sullivan could tie, but the blue will get Higgins' full attention here. It's all he needs for a 5-2 lead. Just one away from the semi-finals. He's done it again. He's cleared up again. Quite incredible. O'Sullivan was looking good. He'd made his highest break of the match, only 45, but he was banging. It went wrong, and Higgins has stepped in once again.
74 in a break.
Another very impressive break, that from the 4 times world champion, John Higgins, a 74. And he's on the brink now of victory here. Just one more needed, and he'll be taking on Mark Selby in the semis. John Higgins on the brink here, 5-2. He's made the key breaks in this match. He's one away from the semi-finals. Mark Selby's beaten Judd Trump 6-1 on the other table. So we'll play the winner of this match tomorrow in a best of 19. And of course, still to come later, we've got Neil Robertson against Fang Zhengyi and Luca Purcell against Robert Milkins.
Played that very well. Thin clip with a trace aside to bring her back over behind in that line behind the yellow.
Just to say, the match that we'll be bringing you later will be the Luca Bressel Robert Milkins match, but of course you can watch Neil Robertson Fang Zhengyi on Discovery Plus. Terrific pot. John Higgins maybe in for the kill here.
Yeah, the last clearance was typical of John Higgins. It'll also be typical of him. First chance to make a big break. There's one characteristic of the top players is that when a chance, they take it and sprint over the line.
8.
Not only do they make the big break, they look like they're going to make the big break.
9.
Well, Ronnie O'Sullivan's won 15 successive matches in Shanghai. Is that run about to end here? Been a disappointing performance from him. He struggled with conditions. He never got going in terms of the sort of fluency we associate more with him than anyone. And it's just a question of whether he now gets another chance to even start to put that right.
There'll be plenty of times though during the season Ronnie when obviously he's playing very well at his best. And actually if he has the attitude he's had today, he'll be very, very hard to beat. As I said, his application has been excellent.
17.
But his execution of shots for him has been quite poor.
No, that's absolutely right. He couldn't have tried any harder. It just hasn't worked. Snooker is a hard game, and sometimes, no matter how good you are, it just doesn't happen for you. John Higgins, though, on the other hand, he has scored well. Obviously, he lost that fourth frame, which was a blow, but didn't affect him. He's had 2 centuries, a couple of 70s,
25.
and hoping that this will be another substantial break that gets him over the line to take on Mark Selby, who, of course, he's had many battles with. They played in the World Championship quarterfinals at the end of last season. That was a top old match. Selby won 13-7. But that Players' Championship we mentioned earlier that he won in 2021, of course, he beat Mark Selby there 6-0. Selby scored 7 points in the match. So Higgins has certainly had his moments against him.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal performance. I think that's probably the greatest snooker we've seen in a sustained period, like for a week. Here, of course, picking off these open reds, but also getting them with blacks. So again, firstly wants to win the frame and the match. But in the process of doing that, the possibility of 147 is not totally unrealistic. Okay, there's 4 reds out in the open 41. There. Obviously 4 reds, 4 backs to make 72 ahead with 75. So even to win the frame, we will need to disturb them. Might take that chance here.
Sort of wry look on his face. He may not stand the black. Because winning the match is the key thing. Yeah. Maximums 49. Can wait. They've had 27 between them.
Just the 27. Yeah, a little bit careless there from John. Probably a little bit distracted. The fact he wasn't going for the 147. Just to be a little bit careful if he does play the blue. So instead he's going for the green, just come down, play for an area. If he plays for an area, should have a choice of 3 or 4 reds. Very uncharacteristic from John. Again, 52. From the green, he fully expected to be on one of the reds. But again, the problem started with the red to blue. And again, probably, as I said, just got a little bit distracted or lost concentration because the 147 chance had gone.
Well, the balls were at his mercy. He'll be really sick there. And
52.
The match not done yet. It looked over. 52 the lead.
Yeah, difficult putt there. Ronnie decided to go for it. Position not guaranteed at all off this red. I would try and just make sure of it and get the white ball out in the middle of the table and have some shot probably on the blue. Yeah, I knew it couldn't really get high on the blue. Just made sure of the putt. Just putt the ball, stay at the table, build up the points. Very good at that, John. Never jeopardizes the putt for perfect position. More than happy to take 2, 3, 4 shots before he gets ideal position. But more determined to putt the ball, keep at the table, keep in control. And again, one good putt here should be enough for the match. It's 3 of those kind of shots that have literally just been off straight, and all 3 of them he's hit full in the face.
Yes, and it's true to say as well, in the last couple of years he has struggled to kill a few matches off, particularly a couple of finals. He's had 2 chances to win this one. Got a little fortunate really where the white finished. It's also tied up green and brown, which doesn't favour O'Sullivan, 58 behind. You can hear the cheers though from the fans there. I think a lot of them thought it was over. Not yet.
Yeah, great pop by Ronnie there. Again, probably delighted and surprised to even have this chance. I don't think he'd read it as a sign of weakness from John that he hasn't capitalised it. Still a lot of work to do. Sometimes these kind of chances are a little bit easier in the fact that if you've written the frame and match off, you can be a little bit more fluent, a little bit more positive.
15.
Feel like you've nothing to lose. But again, all you can best you can probably hope for is get right back into the game. This is certainly missable, particularly if he tries to play it and get out perfect on the black. I feel he's going to put the next 2 reds in colours. Of course, leaves the problem the last red. Then, of course, further down the road, the green and brown. But worst case scenario, even if he couldn't disturb the green or brown, if he was to get that far and play the first telling safety on the green, you don't have to win it in one visit.
This is the most relaxed he's looked all day because he thought it was over. This is sort of just a bonus chance that's come along. But if he can somehow win this frame, then it really makes Higgins think about his own mistakes.
38. $44. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 44.
Might actually have the angle here if he runs through to disturb the brown and green. If he has the angle, he'll definitely take it. Crowd enjoyed that one. Lovely shot, of course. Got the green out, the brown on the side cushion. Again, for Ronnie, regardless of what side of the table the brown is on the cushion, doesn't matter. You can play it left or right-handed, of course. Again, if you could drop behind the brown, would just have to screw back gently for the blue.
The 5.
If he has the angle, which he does, probably be tempted to try and push the brown close to the pocket.
8.
Something like that.
Well, it looked done, this match. Higgins had 2 chances to kill it off.
12.
The day he's had, Ronnie couldn't rule out he'd pot the blue but missed the pink.
Yes, he didn't finish ideal on the blue to get to the pink. So it's just a little further away than
17.
he would like. He needs this pink then to extend the match. A match that looked over a short time ago. Terrific clearance that from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He struggled today, but that was sheer quality. And the fans here in Shanghai loving it. Higgins still favourite, but he's still got to kill it off. He leads 5-3.
Frame 9.
And John Higgins has got to put out of his mind what happened there.
I think Ronnie might be just asking the referee, looking at his watch at the time, might be conscious at the time that for the next couple of frames, will they be allowed to continue on?
Well, they've got plenty of time. They've got a couple of hours yet.
Should be okay. I don't think I've ever seen Ronnie do that.
Yeah, the next session doesn't start until 7:30 local time. It's now 5:15.
Might have had a restaurant reservation instead now.
Great red from Higgins,
1.
who's got to use his experience here. Again, hoping that cue ball would hold up, but after what happened in that last frame, it's gone now.
Yeah, if there's another younger, experienced player after losing a frame like that, it probably wouldn't be a surprise at all if Ronnie came back across John. It's far less likely to happen, but it will be interesting if he gets a good chance, because I don't think he mightn't get a better chance than the one he's had. That won't help either.
1.
Looked like Ronnie trying to create an angle that wasn't there. Always feels like your best chance to win a match and close it out was with the first chance. You get another chance. Still always feel a fraction more vulnerable in the second time if you haven't taken the first one. Of course, John's won so many matches over the years and closed out so many matches. Far more difficult circumstances than this. Yeah, just be a little bit anxious to try and get this one. Doesn't want to go 5-4.
Yeah, I mean, O'Sullivan still hasn't made a half century. He's really dug in to keep the match going, not scoring. It's not in though. The key thing to say, at no point has he given up, at no point has he sort of been resigned to losing or not been trying. That's been a big part of why the match is still going. Obviously Higgins failing to kill it off as well is the other thing. But O'Sullivan was ready when the chance came to make that little clearance.
One of the better long putts he's had today. Generally his long putting hasn't been great. But winning that last frame the manner he did, combination of his own skill, but also John not capitalising the chance,
6.
definitely give him a boost.
Seven.
Again, you wouldn't have thought during the day he didn't believe he could win, but after what happened the last frame, definitely increased his belief that regardless of the circumstance, today could be his day. Okay, desperate to somehow try and get an angle on red or colour to try and free that red and black.
Thirteen.
Yeah, the first real reaction there, not least because the tide was starting to turn in his favour. He potted the good long red, but didn't get the best kiss initially and then misses the blue, and that's the only real reaction we've seen from him today. And also, he's seen Higgins struggle a bit in the last sort of 15 minutes as this cue ball keeps running.
Bit tight. I think if it had a full pocket, he might even gamble playing the potting the yellow and trying to disturb the red and black. Yeah, not having the full pocket there was just a little bit apprehensive. Could have missed it if he tried to be a bit too clever. Yeah, try and put the red and get back up the table.
Yeah, I mean, black tied up, pink tied up, so needs the blue back in play, really.
Four.
Not really getting any easier.
Again, but like the yellow on the previous, again, just having a look there, I think looks more or less natural angle. Pot the brown, trace the left-hand running side to come down, try and disturb the red and black. Going to be crucial for the rest of this frame, particularly with the pink tied up also. Couldn't have played it much better, to be fair.
8.
He has a red in the middle. I think he's one on the left, but the one on the right might be better for position. Maybe roll it in, go up for ball colour.
Nine.
His timing and judgment and pace has just went out a little piece the last frame or so. Yeah, it's not a good sign either there. Yeah, it seems thrown away the little extension.
14.
Byproduct of the frustration. Didn't time that ball well at all.
No, there's a certain anxiety, I think, in part because O'Sullivan's struggling. John Higgins feels he should win this match. He's been the better player, he should win. That's a terrific recovery.
15.
Yeah, really good shot. Particularly as he knows it shouldn't have been that difficult. Should have had the white ball a lot closer to the red.
Yeah, this is where real toughness of character comes to the fore.
Just stopped up time. So I'll be looking to try and pot
18.
this red again. Low on the black. And leave the angle to try and disturb that cluster 4 around the pink. Crucially leaves himself the angle.
Nineteen.
Key shot coming up here just to open them up.
Twenty-six.
Yeah, got a little bit lower onto the white, so kind of screwed into the pack and off them rather than stunning up into them. And
John
yeah,
Higgins,
they'd be a little bit
26.
frustrated with that as well. But played a good safety shot there again. Might have blocked off the path for Ronnie.
He has. I mean, there's 4 reds now out in the open, all possible. So Sullivan on the back foot here. Can't afford to give him another chance, surely.
Let's put John was checking just to see does the black go. Have another look from this side. Might be tempted to try and play this red. Has an angle, just pot it come off the 2 cushions and out for the black. Of course, if the black goes into the opposite corner. This will take a bit of cueing.
Well, it nearly struggled in, and that margin could make a massive difference now in this match. That could have been the end.
Yeah,
But the red has stayed out.
Yeah, John's reaction as well as telling.
So over to Ronnie O'Sullivan, who is hanging on in this match, which could have been over several times. Higgins has not put him away, though.
Yeah, of course, if John put the black 4 open reds, Ronnie would have needed snookers.
8.
Ronnie, of course, needs those 2 reds in play.
9.
Again, if he's an angle on the back, it's quite a big target for the 2 reds. So again, I'd say John's in the chair, probably fearing the worst. All come down to that cannon.
16. 17.
'Looks perfect there, just put the red and more or less screw back a couple of inches.
22.
Leave himself a natural angle on the black then to screw into them. I decide to just take 1 red out, or even put the white in between, pair of them. I'll be able to clip them both out.
$23.
Fortunate there.
30.
Got the red out, but not left with a pot.
Run your side of 30.
A little bit unfortunate there, everybody, actually, to leave that gap. There was no gap there, would have been a very difficult snooker. I'm going to be tempted by this red beside the pink. From distance, certainly starting to find his range.
Well, he's also starting to sense a chance here when it all looked pretty bleak not so long ago. Another big shot coming up here. 22 to the good, effectively frame ball. In it goes.
7.
So it looks like we're going into another frame. Incredible. .30 in front, 27 on.
14.
Well, he has battled away. It's all been bits and pieces. There's been no half centuries, none of the usual dashing scoring, but his application has been exemplary.
Yeah, particularly the last 2 frames. He's taken his chance as well, but he shouldn't have had those chances. Very uncharacteristic of John.
Yeah,
not to put the frame to bed.
How must Higgins be feeling now? Because at 5-2, he was by far the better player of the two, and he had golden chances to wrap it up. Suddenly it's 5-4, and it's going to be an uncomfortable journey home if he doesn't win this match.
28.
This is a match that could have transformed his whole season. Obviously, he can still win it, but the pressure's on, because Ronnie O'Sullivan's made it a lot closer. 5-4. He's still in there fighting, and the crowd here who are supporting him are delighted. John Higgins, not so much. Well, fascinating contest here between two all-time greats of the game. Ronnie O'Sullivan and John Higgins have won 130 professional titles between them. Today, at times, they've struggled. John Higgins has been by far the more fluent. He's had 2 centuries and 3 half-centuries. Ronnie O'Sullivan's highest break, 45, but he's battled, he's scrapped, he's fought, and he's extended the match 5-4 to Higgins. John Higgins has had chances to kill it off, hasn't taken them, and it's a fascinating match now. If O'Sullivan can turn this round, then that is some victory, considering how he's not played his A game by any means. Mark Selby has played his A game today. He's had a string of breaks to beat Judd Trump 6-1, and he's waiting in the semis. Later on, we'll have live coverage of Luca Brissell against Robert Milkins, and on Discovery Plus, it'll be Neil Robertson against Fan Zheng. Just waiting for the players. Here they come. What next then? Can O'Sullivan force the decider? Well, Higgins has had chances, many of them to win. Can he firstly fashion another one? The nightmare scenario for him, I think, is if O'Sullivan suddenly now knocks in a big break, because then the tables are being completely turned.
Yeah, we're obviously curious to see how John will react if he gets a chance, but of course it's the danger that he mightn't. And again, straight away he's left Ronnie a red. And that kind of red, or anything from distance earlier on in the match, he wasn't getting. Not only did he pot that, but played it beautifully, great control.
Crowd sensing that this match is well and truly turning. A little bit of noise in the audience.
All of a sudden, though, there was that possibility of that nightmare scenario you said. That in the blink, feels like a blink of an eye, 5-4 come 5-all.
Well, at this rate, he'll be moving to Shanghai, Ronnie O'Sullivan. It seems he can't lose here, even if he plays, you know, nowhere near his best.
17.
As I say, against the top players, think, well, okay, you know, I'm still ahead, you know, I still have a lead. But just because you play a frame doesn't mean you necessarily get a chance. It's possible in the next, maybe this frame next, John mightn't. You can't guarantee you're going to get another chance. You hope you will.
$20.
He wants to go on and win. Ronnie doesn't have to go down as one of his best, not just his best wins, but certainly one of his best wins against John. Not just from being behind, but certainly didn't have his best stuff today. Okay, John has let him off the hook. But he still stayed there, stayed patient, stayed disciplined. That if he did get a chance, he stayed in the right frame of mind.
Well, this is a sort of frame. We haven't had the sort of protracted safety early on where balls have gone awkward. This is exactly where he wants to be, the black freely available. Seen so often before now, he just wins the frame with a big break.
$36.
Yeah, for John, as experienced as he is, this would definitely be a blow to lose. Not just that he had the lead, but also that he had the chances to put the match to bed. And what it's been a very promising start to the season.
Yeah, there's a bit of noise in the audience, and or just maybe backstage, whatever it is. Zheng, the referee, quite rightly going over to ask for some quiet.
And as I was saying about John, there would have been a promising start to the season. All that momentum would be gone, and gone quickly.
42.
Yeah, and it would be a match, and he's not lost it yet, but it would be a match that would be added to a list of matches in the last couple of years where he's been in very, very strong positions and hasn't closed out victory. Ronnie O'Sullivan's first half century of the whole match.
50. $51.
Just goes to prove, when you have the top players on the ropes, you have to put them away. There's every chance they'll come back stronger. Of course, it looks like Ronnie's going to win this frame. Of course, the decider. Of course, either player could easily win it in one visit, but if John gets a chance, given it's the exact same chance as he had earlier, the chance of 5-2 was always just a little bit easier than the same chance of 5-all.
59.
Even as experienced he is, and for everything he's won, if he got a chance, he'd still be feeling it. Ronnie's certainly cueing a little bit, playing a bit more fluent, cueing a lot freer, smoother.
Well, it's frame 10, and the real Ronnie O'Sullivan has turned up in the nick of time.
65.
Battled and scrapped and fought to stay in the match. Now he's starting to produce the snooker that we associate with him. This is frame ball. It's 5-all. And if John Higgins was under pressure before, now it's been
72.
intensified by the way O'Sullivan's won this frame.
$73. $80. $81.
Yeah, so quickly, so fluently. John's barely had a chance to compose himself. The fact that it was 5-4 and all of a sudden it's 5-all.
86. 87. $94.
Well, he was there for the taking. Now he's the favourite
$95.
to win this match. Crowd love to see a century. Can he knock this blue in? Yes, he can, and the cue ball has obliged by staying out. So what a turnaround. But this frame's been significant because of the way he's won it. Having not made a half century all day, he's made a century in this frame, 100 exactly from his first chance. Ronnie O'Sullivan has won 3 on the spin to set up what looked about half an hour ago a very unlikely decider. All on the last frame for a place in the semis. Ronnie O'Sullivan 5, John Higgins 5. So the handshake, well in fact it's a fist bump before the decider.
That's the frame.
Ronnie O'Sullivan has just made
Starting to break.
a century after what's been a bit of an ordeal for him. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks off in the deciding frame of this gripping quarter-final. John Higgins led 5-2. He looked the only winner at that point. He was the only player making breaks. He had sundry chances, but he's just sat out a century in the last frame from O'Sullivan. So now it is in the balance well and truly.
He might be on up this pot into the left corner. Phenomenal shot.
One.
Not just the pot, but the reaction he's got. Yeah, and earlier on in the match, he wouldn't have went for it, and even if he did, he wouldn't have got it.
Well, John Higgins just seems to be sitting a little low in that seat, doesn't he? Pondering the chances that he didn't take, and now suddenly how well O'Sullivan's playing. Like you say earlier on, he was just struggling so badly, but he just killed one frame off from his first chance. Can he now kill the match off from his first chance in the decider?
7.
Chances are he will, I think.
And, you know, if he's here on Sunday again with the trophy, you look back on this and you think, well, how? Because he was struggling so badly. The answer is really his attitude. He's never at any point given up. He's been
14.
struggling, yes, but he's stuck in there, waited to see if chances came, played the correct shots, and this is his
50.
reward now, this chance to get it won.
Exactly, he's obviously had to rely on John missing, but when he's had his chance, because his mind's been in the right place, he has been able to capitalise on them. He hasn't necessarily forced the chances himself, but when they've come because of his application, he's been able to capitalise. Again, for the first time you feel the match is in his hands. He's been hanging on to John's coattails. And again, John at 5-4 would have believed he'd get another chance or two. As we said, there's every chance.
23.
He's probably played his last shot.
Well, it's going to be tough to take if that's the case for Higgins, because O'Sullivan was there for the taking for sure.
But again, having had that chance he didn't think he was get. First chance in this last frame, literally went for the juggler. Brilliant red, totally committed to it. Plenty of side to get in perfect position in one go.
$31.
Who is going to beat this man in this city? No one's done so for 7 years. I know it wasn't played here for 4 years, but 2016, Michael Holt, the last winner over O'Sullivan in Shanghai.
37.
Mark Selby, if he does come through here, O'Sullivan will be the next opponent. Of course, Selby doesn't fear him either. That will be some match.
A little bit straight on the black. I think he might come off 2 cushions. Try and beat on the red at the bottom of the pack. Just be careful not to overrun it. Yeah, played it well. Just low on it. Be able to pot it. Glance off the red above it.
44.
And then the 2 reds on the left-hand side should be available into the opposite corner.
45.
Yeah, if he's just one good cannon away from having the match at his mercy. He deemed that a good cannon.
52.
We've also seen here how much O'Sullivan wants to win. You know, don't be fooled by anything he said. He wants to win every match he plays, and he's spoken of this tournament in particular as being a target for him. So that application we've spoken about has been really important. Yes, you can argue Higgins should have closed it out, but the fact that he didn't, O'Sullivan needed to be ready mentally, and he has been. And this is a sensational finish, isn't it? First chance, 5 each. First chance looks like 6-5.
Yeah, we've seen him play better, but this has to go down as one of his best ever wins, considering how the match had went. As right from the start of the match, he looked ill at ease, struggling a bit with the conditions. His tip looked distracted. Just hung on in there.
6-5.
And eventually, if you wait long enough, there's always that chance it can turn around.
Well, this blue is match ball. What a finish from the greatest player we've ever seen. At times today, that form had gone missing, but it turned up just in time. John Higgins is going to be absolutely sick.
71.
He was looking good for a great victory over his great contemporary, with a chance to progress to the semis, possibly win the tournament. It's going to feel like a very long journey home, I think, for him, thinking of what might have been.
76.
Yeah, brilliant break, very well taken, and of course all brought about by the fantastic first ready played.
77.
And we get another chapter in the O'Sullivan-Selby psychodrama in the semis. They've had, of course, a lot of meetings, a lot of memorable ones.
84.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a great reward for beating John Higgins from 5-2 down. 2 sessions against Mark Selby just to get to the final, but again, a 5-2 down, he'd taken that gladly. And again, sometimes over the years, he's found Selby a tough nut to crack. In this mindset, this attitude, he's definitely in the right mental place to be able to go toe-to-toe with him. Set up fantastically.
98. 99.
Well, a grandstand finish. Hadn't made a half century all day, made a century in the last frame. He's made one in the clinching frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan, as ever, doing it in style.
103. 105.
There's an old saying, if you're going to take a shot at the king, you'd better not miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan is still standing in Shanghai, where he's been the winner for the last 3 stagings of this title.
112.
By any standards, this has been an impressive finish. Yes, he struggled early on. That's all gone, though. He's still here.
123.
Glorious. What a couple of frames he's put together here. Sensational finish from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Back-to-back centuries of 100 and 130. He was deep in trouble. 5-2 down. John Higgins was a big favourite. He couldn't close it out. He didn't get over the line. And Ronnie O'Sullivan, to the delight of his supporters here, has put himself into the finals of the Shanghai Masters. Can he make it 4 titles in a row here? Next up for him, a certain Mark Selby. Well, disappointment clearly for Higgins. He'll look back with disappointment there because he was playing good stuff. He'd had 2 centuries, remember, and a couple of half centuries as well. And that's, we've updated the head-to-head there. It's now 38-33 to O'Sullivan. And of course 2 centuries in the match for him, 2 from Higgins. It turned into a really good contest. They were struggling at times, but the fascination never dipped, did it? And the finish was something else.